Probably the album that I've thrashed the most in my life and not got sick of it is an album by a guy called Ernest Ranglin. He's a Jamaican guitarist. I think he taught Bob Marley how to play the guitar. He's pretty old these days, in his 80s, maybe 90s. But a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, he released an album called Below the Bassline. And it's all jazz-style covers of reggae classics. And it's really good. It's instrumental, no vocals. I think that's part of the reason why it's lasted so long with me, because I'm really into lyrics and stuff most of the time. Yeah, I need an album that gives me a break from that. And yeah, it just doesn't get boring to me. I really like it. More recently, Queens of the Stone Age, Like Clockwork. I've thrashed that to death and still love it. I think it's probably their best album. I know a lot of people who like, you know, Songs for the Deaf, probably gonna disagree with me, but I think it's awesome. I think it's really good. And the one, like, probably an album that I've listened to the longest and still dig is Check Your Head by the Beastie Boys. Yeah, it's just a classic, especially if you're in a band like mine that plays live music, punk stuff as well as hip-hop stuff. That was the first album I ever heard that combined the two. So there's three of my all-time faves. My parents got me into music really young, so I think I had band shirts from when I was a kid, but the first one I really clearly remember buying for myself was also one of the first proper, like, gigs that I went to by myself at Festival Hall in Brisbane, and that was Faith No More on the Angel Dust tour, and I got the tour shirt, and like, I immediately like ruined it just by sweating in it and getting it straight. I mean, I should have bought it at the end of the show, but it got sweated in and stretched really badly, like 5 minutes after purchase. But it was a favorite. I wore that shirt until it was like falling off me. It was like a rag in the shape of a rag. Yeah, Faith No More Angel Dust tour shirt. My dream collaboration. I don't know. I've got a lot of people from a lot of different genres that I'd like to work with, like, if I could, kind of thing. Feeling pretty far away from most of them right now. I mean, Beastie Boys, like I mentioned, one of them is already died, which is, you know, going to make things difficult. But yeah, like, feature on a track with Ad Rock, that'd be super cool. Super cool. Song that I wish that I'd written. Funnily enough, I just answered this question in another interview, so I had time to think about it. Highway to Hell by AC/DC, because it's just, to me, it's perfect, pure perfect, like pop songwriting played by a banging rock band. But if I wrote it, I don't think I would be able to perform it anywhere near as well as AC/DC, so I would let them cover it for me. My worst stage nightmare has already come true, actually. We played a show in Melbourne quite a long time ago, and we'd been on tour for a long time already, and my voice was pretty bad, pretty clapped out before we started. And by the second or third song, I had completely lost my voice. I was just pushing as much as I could, and it's just like, just air was coming out, no vocals at all. Just me mouthing the words. It was like a mime artist performance. I was so ashamed of myself. But then halfway through it, what I felt like was happening, there was what I imagined was like some kind of blister on my vocal cords. And halfway through the show, it kind of like popped. And then everything was lubricated and everything worked again. And like, so the second half of the gig, I sang fine. I was pretty bummed about the first half, and without really consulting the venue or the booking agency or the band, I just said to anyone, like, if they wanted to get their money back, they could have it, which got me into a lot of trouble. Luckily, no one did want their money back, so it was all good. But yeah, that was pretty nerve-wracking. I can't really. I mean, I could fall off the stage and break something. That'd be pretty bad, but at least you get to leave. On my gear wish list, I think well, I don't know what I want. I want to get a lot of things, but there's a microphone that's come out, called the Sphere L22, I think it's called, and that particular mic has, like, it's combined with emulation technology, and apparently it sounds, depending on the settings you use, like about 100 different mics, classic microphones, old ones, new ones. Yeah, it's like this most versatile instrument when it comes to recording equipment you can imagine. So I don't know, I'm pretty keen to check that out. Other than that, a vocoder would be pretty cool. I want to play California Love like the proper way. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like gear, so I got a lot of gear, and I'm getting more all the time. Bye.